Countless people up on top of there. They're climbing it right now, as you can see. In fact, if you can pan to your left, they're actually on top of the statue here at Union Square. I've actually got a couple of his followers here with me who can kind of explain to us what they were expecting, what happened. Young man, give me your name real quick and tell me why you came out here, what you expected to happen, what did happen.
All right, my name is Dilico Antavius. So basically, it's a CENAT, Phantom, all of the AMP members. Oh, I don't know about all of them, but they pulled up, do a little
what the fuck?
And a giveaway for the fans.
Giveaway of what was the understanding?
So, this is different right now.
PS5s, video game accessories, PCs. But I don't think they will actually give away an actual PC, because how is somebody going to carry that? So I'm pretty sure it's gift cards for them to then go and get the P5 themselves.
Safe to assume that you, along with your friends, came out here thinking that you would get some freebies. Is that correct?
Not that we're thinking, but there's a chance to, because there's so many people and there's only so much you could give.
Has any of that happened?
This is crazy, chat.
And they were giving out, but people are, there's so many people here. People are pushing around, so you can't really get it organized.
Okay. And before we came on, you were telling me that, in your own words, that some people out here were bugging out. Explain to me what you saw, what you meant by that.
Bugging out, like you can
see,
niggas
getting knocked.
Obviously for what happened.
Niggas getting beat up.
That just happens all the time. People being reckless. It's New York City. Stuff like this happens every day. Well, I wouldn't say every day, but
yo, look at over here.
As you can see, Sandra, we've also heard and seen incidents of construction equipment behind me. I'm going to show you one live look, last live look again of what's happening here. Construction equipment being tossed around. We saw smoke. I'm not sure if that was a fire or some kind of smoke bomb. Again, this was all sparked by a Twitch streamer, a social media influencer. He has 20 million followers. He asked them all to come meet him here at Union Square.
20 million followers.
PlayStation 5 giveaway at 4 o'clock. Apparently, we're also hearing that people showed up only to find out there were no freebies. And as you heard, he is here. At one moment, he was live streaming in a van nearby, but he did step out. As you heard, he's out here greeting his fans. We even observed Chief of Department Madry out here having objects thrown at him. Cops are obviously outnumbered out here.
Cops is getting crushed.
We're hearing that there are officers who have been injured, unclear at this hour, the extent and severity of the injuries. But we're also seeing paint left over from this construction project near this entrance.
Yo, yellow cabs.
Some of the equipment.
Everybody that's in a yellow cab right now, stress.
Many streets around here closed. Police officers, we noticed, closed off traffic as high as.
You in a yellow cab, stress.
Trains are skipping this subway station now, so police are asking everyone to avoid this area. But as you can see, there's a large crowd here. We're here.
Look, niggas is moving on the car, bro. They're different.
Clearly, NYPD is vastly outnumbered in this
They're
situation.
different.
I don't want to interrupt you for one quick second right now because you're looking at live pictures.
That might be cop.
Literally covered with people, and we do believe that that was the vehicle that had CENAT in it, which you can see now looked as though could have been leaving the area. That is why you're seeing that crowd there chase after.
It is. Look at Phantom in the truck.
Right there, that they believe CENAT is in right now.
They're going to get knocked.
He was there. He was in the crowd for a little bit of time, but clearly this was an out-of-control crowd, and no freebies given away, no giveaway whatsoever getting in the car, but clearly you're looking at a very dangerous situation.
Niggas is
car now driving really
different.
Fast with those people clinging
reckless
on
endangerment.
the top of it.
Car better know better.
It's mind-boggling.
Car better know better.
Why they're not stopping to let these people off the car. And
somebody fell.
Someone fell off. Okay, joining us now is Bob Boyce, former NYPD, to talk more about this situation. Bob, can you hear us? It's Liz Cho and Sandra Bookman.
I can, Liz. I can hear you.
Okay, we know you're on the phone. I don't know if you have
niggas is risking a life for this shit,
bro. Talk to us a little bit about police procedure. Obviously, this was a situation that police were not expecting. So how is it that they start getting the upper hand in crowd control here?
So
the people that's on the car is his friends. That's security.
So there's going to be cars from
everybody else that fell off.
They have to stage first, and they have to get together. Then they have to, at some point, go in and disperse the crowd. Now, someone should be on a bullhorn right now, dispersing this crowd. I don't know if they're doing that yet, but that
nigga's out. They gone.
Bringing mounted to aid in that effect, and they'll start diffusing the crowd as best they can. It looks like you have an unruly mob right now. and they have to bring order to it.
Unruly mob.
In the meantime, they'll have to do with the best they can with what they have.
How much of a challenge is this for law enforcement? Look, we've seen similar things on the Jersey Shore. Somebody sends out an announcement on social media that there's going to be a party.
Beating up cops, throwing shit at the cops just now.
This seems like a
that shit
thing.
was
We're
crazy.
In Union Square at 4 o'clock, and the next thing you know, 5,000-6,000 people show up. They're not getting the freebies, so they start acting out. How difficult?
That's not even what it was. I hate the internet.
From turning into a kind of free.
Not the internet. I hate the news. The news swear they know everything. Like, the man was coming to really give away stuff. Like, just shut up.
Can you hear us?
I can.
Did you get any of that question? You know, these calls going out on social media, obviously, young people.
Like, you think the nigga really gonna come out there to just do that for no reason?
For something free. 5,000 other people show up. The police are sort of almost behind the 8 ball. How difficult is it for the department?
The news is lining Kai right now. They showing you how the street they turning down and everything.
Where?
Look at this. Look at this. Niggas was wilding them up. White shirts at that.
And that's what's important to understand. You have to get out in front of this before it happens. Usually there's sneaker giveaways, whatever the case may be, a new product coming out. Generally speaking, we know what's going on within Manhattan South. This apparently was a little, they got past it.
Shit is different.
Resources immediately.
Do you think Kai CENAT, considering his posting on social media and urging of this gathering here so large and not going what appears to be the proper channels, will he be facing charges?
I would doubt to be honest with you. He didn't really create this. It's his ability to bring people together, which is the issue. So it sounds like he's doing this in altruistic fashion, but I don't think there's criminal charges yet. We'll have to take a look further, but it doesn't appear that way to me now.
How has police strategy changed, I guess, in the last couple of years in terms of handling crowds?
These
like
people
this?
want him locked up, bro.
When first get there and they're
sick.
Come across what appears to be a very unwieldy crowd. What is their initial
approach niggas is greasing the cops. Look,
things down.
Greasing them. Get out of here.
Immediately call for help.
Back up.
Borough Command who will bring resources in. We have task forces who are trained.
Sending the red.
That's not something we don't have, but you have to get them to the scene. And
they wilding these niggas up,
son. Without any more violence or any more action. But it sounds from what I'm hearing that some police officers have already been injured. So it looks like an escalation right now more than a diffusion.
Look, you've seen everything. You were with the department for decades. How
Yo, this shit is crazy, son.
A summer afternoon in Union Square Park, and honestly, police struggling to try to get a handle on it.
With the power of social media, it's not unusual, to be honest with you. You see it in other cities. We haven't had this in New York for the most part, flash mobs and that stuff. We're able to get out in front of this.
He about to throw. Oh, I thought he was about to throw a pin in there.
And go there first and kind of quell the situation and turn people away from that park, from that meeting area. That's the key here, is to get out in front of them.
Start mobbing them
They
niggas.
didn't know about this influencer, and so this is what we have now. This will diffuse, but it'll take a couple hours to do so.
Really? You think it's going to take that long?
At least 2, because you have a lot of people there and they don't want to go home. Yeah, it is, because they can't control where they are, and it's tough to get out of there. You know, traffic in Manhattan, it doesn't move at all at this time of day. So this is a tough time. But what they're doing now, go shoulder to shoulder and go through the park and moving people out, hopefully into the subway system, but also ensuring the people in the subway, which is right there, make sure they're safe.
This is crazy.
They've actually stopped subway traffic. The trains right now are bypassing 14th Street and Union Square because they don't want to get all those people into the mix there. The other side effect of this is we are going into the evening rush. So what's happening there is
rush
going
hour.
to sort of have spider legs, and it's going to affect a large swath of downtown.
It will, and unfortunately, it is Friday. You get less.
Police trying to tell a busman to go. Like, go where?
Bob, I'm going to interrupt you for one quick second.
Go
we do
where?
want to get to Josh Einiger, who is in the crowd right there, and check in with him. But please hang on the phone with us, Bob. Go ahead,
Liz,
Josh.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, Liz, we're on 14th Street. That bus that's backing up from the crowd We understand that this guy, this influencer, is on that bus, and the police are backing him out. That's what we're hearing from various people in the crowd. The crowd is following the bus. There's a huge complement of police in helmets and with batons out and with their pepper spray out, trying to keep people, including us, by the way, back from the bus.
Niggas is gassing it. He's not on that bus. Y'all seen the truck dip already.
We're going to back up right now to 5th Avenue. This is 14th between Union Square and 5th Avenue. You can see a lot of people surrounding this bus right here. The police, I'm not sure how they got this guy on the bus, if that is in fact what happened.
He's not on the
I don't
bus.
actually know what he looks like. There is someone in the bus. This police officer asking us to stay on one side of 14th Street because they're trying to figure out how to get this back. But you can see what's happening. It's a really out of control situation. A lot of police here at this point, but they obviously are not in control of this crowd. Now, I can tell you there are some reports. Police don't quite know what to make of it. People I'm talking to, that there have been some number of cops who sustained some number of injuries. It's not clear how serious they were when they first arrived.
This shit
and
is
they are
wicked,
now trying
man.
to set up this perimeter around this city bus. Why don't we come out to 5th Avenue, Jared? And we're just going to get kind of out back this way. But you can see these police officers here in the helmets. They're ready for anything. Now,
where is Side Talk? Side Talk, they didn't even get a chance to do nothing.
They really do not want to make this situation potentially worse. What they are hoping is that it dissipates, but of course that seems unlikely, and so they...
I don't think I'm ready for stuff like that. That's why I ain't go out there, chat.
They're still
see?
Not
I
quite
can't do
fully
this shit.
staffed up and fully under control here. They have called...
I'm not old to be running around, running up and down. Like, I was 21, 22 still. Even 25, I'd have probably still been out there. But right now...
Try to help, and they are coming here and putting on these helmets.
He probably do this shit again tonight.
And we see people running here, so it's not really clear why these people are running. It's a pretty volatile situation, Liz and Sandra.
All right, Josh, we do want you and your crew, obviously, first and foremost, to be careful. We know it is a very fluid situation. We know that this crowd has been running in every different direction, so we do want you to be careful. I guess the question, is there hope, considering the police are trying to take
is he really on a bus?
standoff approach, that the influencer who we believe is inside that bus, that they're going to allow him to complete this fan meet and greet?
I didn't quite understand the question. I didn't hear the question because it's pretty loud here. I'm sorry. And we have somebody who looks like he's being arrested right here.
So the influencer, is it
really
your...
unclear.
Is it your impression they're trying to get him out of that area, the influencer?
Oh, yes.
Fronting on his
Oh,
face.
yes. Yeah, 100%. So they managed to get him, if in fact that's what happened, and Jared is shooting this arrest happening right here. So, hey, Jared, come back over here. You see me? All right. Can you take a look at the front of this bus? See what we can see on the bus. There are people on the bus. It's unclear if they're arrested or not, or if they've just been put on this bus. And I don't know who... Yeah, sure. This gentleman at the front of the bus passed the bus driver, or somebody with chains. I mean, I don't know what this influencer looks like. I've personally never heard of him. I don't know if he's on this bus. That seems to be what people all around here think. They all have their phones. They're all taking pictures. And you can see a lot of police supervisors trying to control this. We're going to step out this way.
We understand if you need to.
Yeah, be careful,
continue
guys.
to walk, but you
This
can see
shit
some of the
is
crowd
different.
on top of the bus that is also.
Niggas is brave, son.
I believe that is the same bus that was backing in or out of the area there, but you can see the crowd has now converged and surrounded that bus.
On the phone with us right now, John J. Professor Brian Higgins. Professor, well, we see you, so we're hoping you can see us. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. What do you make of all of this? We heard the chief mention earlier that social media has really changed things.
It has. It's brought this crowd to this location right now.
This is different.
What do you think the police strategy is and should be right now
Can't
to
even
try to
front. This is
disperse this
different.
crowd in the most peaceful way?
That is exactly what they're going to try to do. What we don't want to see, and what the NYPD is very good at, is instigating the crowd more. So their presence right now and their direction to their officers will be to try to disperse this crowd in as peaceful a manner as possible. And you can see, even though they're calling in officers from all over the boroughs, and it may even come to the point where they call in off duty, they're still right now appear to be overwhelmed. So if they were to use force and this crowd became even more violent, the NYPD would be in a very tough situation.
Yeah, and I think the chief mentioned, and Josh said as well, that's really not what they want to do. They don't want to get into a real fight, so to speak, with the folks that are out there. They really just want to get them to go home. I think we're all shocked by how quickly this crowd merged onto Union Square and how quickly it got out of control because of a simple social media post about free items, and how somehow the police missed that and were not able to get ahead of it.
Well, I think everybody missed it. I don't think anybody saw this coming, and I think we're all surprised.
2 days worth, not even 24 hours.
So I think there are probably people
I think it said it Wednesday, made an official post Thursday.
So, you know, the blame shouldn't be.
And here we are today. 2 days. This took 2 days. Literally.
Police, but we have a large, probably.
Some better know how to capitalize from this shit. I'm telling you, like, with little stuff like this.
Should be any blame put on the influencer who prompted this massive
she getting me mad. I'm sorry, chat, but she keep forcing the fact of him getting in trouble.
For something like this?
Relax.
This should be permanent. I'm sure there will be an investigation to follow to see what this individual intended. Did he know it was going to be this big? But yeah, there is some responsibility here on whoever's involved. Remember, we call them influencers. We see a lot of stories of people on social media who are just individuals who become famous. But then there are a lot of people who have that title of influencers who have organizations, corporations.
Now he trying to say son of gang member. Jesus Christ. Know better.
And that's why we have permitting, so that there can be a plan.
All right, we're going to ask you to hang on for 1 quick second. We do want to check back in with Josh Einiger,
corporations,
who's on the ground
organizations,
in the middle of that crowd. Josh.
It's gangbanging, guys.
Okay, so Liz, I have a little bit more information from a high-ranking police source. That bus there that we've been watching, the influencer who's at the center of all this is not on that bus.
Yeah, I told you.
Left, we are told. He is no longer here.
Gassed
They got him out of here. The people on that bus are all under arrest. I don't know how many. We had shots earlier of, I don't know, quite a few. How many? Maybe a dozen, maybe more people, and a lot of cops who are with them.
Arrest.
On that bus, and they are backing that bus out of here because they are under arrest. The actual
shit.
the Twitch star who started all of this is, I am told, no longer even in this vicinity. But this is how these things happen. They happen on social media. They happen kind of, rumors spread among this crowd. The crowd thinks that he's on the bus, and so as a result, they're not leaving the bus.
Told y'all he wasn't on that shit. He was in the truck.
Here, and you can see now cops who have batons out. Jared, look to the right. See the cops all lined up here? They're trying to form a wall to protect the bus so that they could back this bus out of here. This is 14th and 5th. This is an articulated bus. It takes a lot of skill, I imagine, for a bus driver to back one of these things up under the best of circumstances. Now you've got police trying to make sure it doesn't hit anyone, it doesn't somehow get mobbed by this mob, who, according to the police, are incorrect that the guy they're looking for isn't even on the bus. So it's sort of a fog of war here among the police. You know, it does appear, at least at this intersection here, they've marshaled a fair number of resources. They keep kind of growing. But if we look in the bus, actually, you can see.
So what's going to be their charge? Reckless endangerment?
All right, Josh.
And there are quite a few people
We're going to interrupt you
Go ahead,
for
Liz.
1 quick second because we do want to check in with Safan Kim, who is also there in a different area. Safan, go ahead.
Liz, so police just broke the barricade. They bum rushed the crowd, this entire crowd down Broadway. Hundreds of people went sprinting down Broadway. Hector, move to your right. This is the speaker system now that the NYPD is playing. They're letting people know, to your right, Hector, that if they do not disperse, they'll be arrested. This was the barricade here. This was the blue line. And as you can see, if we pan back to our left, they have moved the line of police officers from behind that barricade.
This is crazy, son.
Out onto Broadway and 14th Street, and now they're pushing left. Now they're pushing forward. They're pushing the crowd. We're moving with them. We're going to stay with the police officers. That's probably the safest place that we can.
Someone's getting sturdy in the cut just now.
Flying around, they're moving the barricades. You've got bottles being thrown around. They're all on top of buses. There's a bottle. Watch out. We've got stuff being sprayed here. Hector, let's move over here.
Police trying to play catch.
But let's
You need to chill.
We just lost Safan's signal, but he is watching.
They're pushing him north.
Oh, you can hear him now. Okay, and you're looking at aerial views from Newscopter 7, and Safan is down there right now in that crowd as police move in and start to push the crowd and manipulate this crowd to kind of disperse them.
And exactly what Chief Boyce said just a few moments ago, that he was surprised that he didn't hear the, what do you mean, the
blowhorn.
Loudspeakers, the blowhorn.
Yeah, and Bob is still with us. Bob, like you said, they
This
were
is
coming
crazy,
in.
son.
They were going to start with the blowhorn, and then they
I
were
don't
going
even
to
know
start
what to
dispersing
say,
that crowd,
like-
just like you said.
Yeah, you're going to have to give direction with the bullhorn and piece off the crowd, piece by piece, different areas, and push them out of the area. You know, the batons will as a pushing device more than anything else, and the helmets will be on the police officers. So this is a process that's going to go on for a little while.
Like, picture getting on the train at 14th Street, getting off the train at 14th Street, and then you see this.
They'll take over buses and use them as arrest vehicles. City buses, whatever they can get their hands on, put them on the bus and get them out of there. So I'm not surprised by with their tactics right now.
Yeah, and you can see now as we look down from Newscopter 7, this crowd now is being sectioned off. Where it was one big massive crowd in the center of Union Park Square, it is now being sectioned off and dispersed slowly. But it has been a very difficult and touchy situation as we hear that police are now armed with pepper spray and batons. They have their helmets and gear on, whereas initially we saw officers who were not prepared to help get rid of this crowd in a fashion because it was just so large and overwhelming.
And the objective really is not to have that confrontation.
Right.
It's to get them to disperse as safely and peacefully as possible.
Yeah. Can we go back to Safan Kim? Have we reestablished our signal with him? Because he was walking with police. We have not. How about Josh Einiger? Okay. So obviously, because it's a very fluid situation down there, and our live capability as our crews walk with these crowds sometimes goes in and out. We did just reestablish with Safan. Let's go ahead and check in with him. Safan.
Okay, so there's the first observation. Several arrests happening right now. We saw 2 individuals handcuffed. They're being loaded onto this MTA bus. When you last saw us, we were extracted from there by police officers.
All of them about to go in front of the courtroom and go home.
There were bottles being thrown around everywhere. So what the officers have done is they've moved them.
Or they might get charged with them throwing the reckless endangerment with the police. Niggas is wilding the police up. They might just get all the blame for that.
Behind this line, because they may need to bring the barricades back out, they said, and who knows if this line gets pushed back, right? So they're keeping us this distance back. This is south of 14th. You're seeing the mess and the chaos now in Union Square. If I'm gonna have Hector sort of pan along 14th Street, you can see this is a standstill. You've got some of these are police vehicles, but at least on Broadway there were, civilian vehicles just being climbed on top of, broken into. But this crowd is dispersing now. Still a lot of people here, but they're not in the street at this point. So at least at this stage, it looks like police officers got them off the street and have contained them into Union Square. There's probably a second move at some point they're going to make, but I guess they're going to let this thing hopefully fizzle out on its own so it's a little more controllable. Chief Manager, as I mentioned, on the corner of Broadway, if you can get a shot of that, as I mentioned, he got struck with some kind of object I can imagine probably a water bottle or something, because a ton of that was flying around. But that bus that was out there on 14th moments ago with everyone on top, that's been cleared. All those people that were climbing on top of street poles and light poles, they're now taken off of that. They've been cleared. Several arrests made. And as I mentioned, they're no longer in the street on 14th and Broadway.
Exactly. So for the officers that thought he wasn't doing anything and they were lying, and that's first batch. The news always, they swear they gotta stop doing that and really learn they shit before they start just saying anything and look stupid. Because for years y'all been doing that. For years and years and years.
Under arrest over there to the right of that bus, Jared. Do you see him? He's not wearing a shirt. Do you see him? So these buses, and I think that was Bob Boyce I heard earlier, these buses are clearly being used as prisoner transport vehicles to get people out of here. Now, I spoke to a police source a little while ago. The last thing they wanted to do was arrest people, because that just inflames the situation. The last thing they would want to do is add to the chaos, but they had to take some control here, and it was almost inevitable at this point that they were going to end up making arrests. We have, we saw a bus full of prisoners that backed out of here a little while ago, and it looks like they're now adding to that bus here. Jared, if you want to pan a little bit to the left, the long line of cops blocking that bus. So they've clearly created this sort of perimeter around this area where they're trying to run their policing operations here. They have a drone in the air just over this scene, Jared, coming down right over the bus. They've been flying that drone, which obviously gives them kind of a close-in look at the crowd. They obviously also have their aviation units, helicopters up overhead. But if you see to the left into Union Square, it's a little bit hard from this vantage point, but we see people standing up on planters, and really, the crowd has not really dissipated within Union Square. A lot of people did kind of back out of here with that first bus. They had a huge contingent of NYPD with helmets and riot gear protecting that bus full of prisoners as it backed out. But obviously, hard to do. They're still clearly outnumbered by this sudden, flash mob that popped up kind of out of the clear blue sky as far as they're concerned, something that ginned up here by an influencer you may never get heard of. We're going to back out. We'll go back to you.
He hating.
Look, we can Josh
niggas is haters.
But it does appear there are fewer people
niggas is
concentrated
haters.
in Union Square and in that area than what we saw, say, 45 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so they've had some success.
Right, and we are seeing for the first time, like you and I have said.
Yeah, man, chat. He gotta capitalize from this. That's all I know. That's all I see. You just gotta capitalize and up it. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. You feel me? 2 days worth of pain. 2 days worth of pain, and you made niggas pull up. That's some gangster shit. I ain't even gonna hold you. You gotta show niggas now how to really capitalize, bro. You feel me? Do some extra positive. Show the cops that you really one of those that could come in the office tight, huh? Word.